Every fortune leaves evidence. In December of 2008, federal agents arrived at a Manhattan apartment before the sun came up. The man they arrested had run one of the most respected investment firms on Wall Street for nearly 50 years. He was a former chairman of the NASDAQ stock exchange. Retirees, charities, and major banks trusted him with their futures. Before this file is over, you will learn that a mathematician tried to warn regulators about this man for 9 straight years and was ignored every time. You will learn that his own sons turned him in, and you will see exactly what a dog's leash had to do with how this story really ends. This is the autopsy of the largest Ponzi scheme in history, and the 200-year-old lie that fraud always looks exciting. Money Autopsy, File 9, the quietest lie on Wall Street. Bernard Madoff opened his own small brokerage in 1960 with money he saved as a lifeguard. Over 3 decades, that small firm became genuinely respected. He served as chairman of the NASDAQ stock exchange itself. Alongside the real, legitimate trading business, he ran a separate investment advisory arm. This is where the fraud lived. Madoff told clients he used something called a split-strike conversion strategy, stocks paired with options designed to steadily limit risk. It sounded sophisticated and boring in exactly the right way. 10 to 12% a year, almost never a losing month. When investigators finally looked, they found no trades had actually been placed for at least 15 years. The statements were simply printed. It was the oldest scheme in finance. Pay old investors with new investors' money and never let the music stop. In Boston, a little-known options trader named Harry Markopolos was asked to copy Madoff's strategy for his own firm. Within days, he ran the numbers and concluded it was mathematically impossible. Real markets do not move that smoothly. Starting in 1999, Markopolos submitted detailed, evidence-backed warnings to the Securities and Exchange Commission. He would do it 5 separate times. Every single time, the SEC set his reports aside. While regulators looked away, ordinary trust kept the machine running. Retirees invested their life savings. Jewish charities and foundations invested their entire endowments. Even sophisticated banks bought in. Nobody asked too many questions because nobody was getting rich overnight. That was the point. Then the 2008 financial crisis hit, and panicked investors everywhere needed cash. In the first week of December alone, clients requested roughly $7 billion back. There was no $7 billion. There had never been a real trading account to draw it from. On December 10th, Madoff sat his 2 sons down and told them the truth. The investment business was, in his own words, one big lie. He had been paying old investors with new investors' money for years, and there was nothing left. His sons, Mark and Andrew, walked out of the apartment in shock and called federal prosecutors that same night. The next morning, FBI agents arrested Bernard Madoff at his Manhattan apartment. Investigators eventually found that clients believed they held $64.8 billion across their accounts. It was fiction, printed on paper. The real cash actually deposited and lost was closer to $18 billion. Still, at the time, the largest Ponzi scheme ever uncovered. In March of 2009, Madoff pleaded guilty to 11 federal felonies. There was no trial to sit through. That June, he was sentenced to the maximum, 150 years in federal prison. He would spend the rest of his life there. Bernard Madoff died in a federal prison medical center in April of 2021 at 82. The most painful chapter of this story does not belong to Bernard Madoff at all. His sons were never criminally charged. They said, under oath, that they had no knowledge of the fraud. But the public accusations never fully stopped. On December 11, 2010, the exact second anniversary of his father's arrest, Mark Madoff took his own life in his apartment. 2 years of unrelenting pressure, his lawyer said, over a crime he did not commit. Here is the myth this story usually gets told wrong, that a scam this size must have looked flashy or too good to be true. Madoff's real genius was the opposite. He never promised spectacular returns. He promised boring, steady, believable ones. The one person who did the actual math, Harry Markopolos, spent 9 years being dismissed by the very regulator built to listen to him. The lesson is not to fear the deal that looks too exciting. It is to question the one that never seems to have a bad month at all. 9 files now, and this one connects to the last. Enron survived on hype and applause. Madoff survived on the complete absence of either. Both were caught only when a crisis forced the money to actually move and revealed there had never been enough of it. Every fortune, real or fabricated, eventually has to answer to the same question: where is the cash? If this file earned it, subscribe and leave a comment for the one analyst who did the math nobody wanted to hear. Next on the table, a pop star sold out stadiums for a decade, then filed for bankruptcy owing more than $30 million, done in by his own entourage. Every fortune leaves evidence.